welcome. I am Daniel G. Garza, and this is another episode of Putting Together Conversations. Welcome. It is Saturday, January 16th, and this is our noon show. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start by thanking my producer and my director, my partner, Christian Paul Ramirez, for helping me get all set up, for all his directions. Thank you. Remember, we are here every Saturday with episodes at noon and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you set your timer, set your alarms, and follow us. And for all of you who have been following us since the beginning of 2021, we are now on 3 separate channels. So you can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope or Twitter. Remember, if you make any comments or join us in the conversation, we will see your... we can see all of your, where is it? There we are. There's the ticker. We can see all of your questions and comments, and I'll make sure that my guest hears them so that we can have it basically be part of the conversation. I don't know why I'm stuttering today, but let me tell you a little bit about my guest today. My guest today is Mr. Luke Marsden. He's a comic, and he is 24 years old, comes from Northern Virginia, and he got into filming and acting classes in 2016 when he moved to Los Angeles and started putting out Instagram comedy videos in 2020 and transitioned into stand-up comedy completely with 3 stand-up shows so far and a part of the Craig Smith, where I lost it. The Craig Smith shows, he's part of the Craig Smith show, Don't Get Dog Walked. And I met him on the Rebels of Comedy circuit, and that's how we connected. Let me bring him on the show. Hey, Luke, how's it going, sir?
What's going on, guys? What's up, Daniel? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
So as I mentioned to the guest, we met at the Federal Bar. Hello to the Federal Bar. I missed that place. Out in North Hollywood. Through the TK Marsden. How you doing, sir? I know he's out in Texas right now, but we met on the Rebels of Comedy circuit. And how did you get into the Rebels of Comedy?
Dude, I was actually right next door at the AMP rehearsal theater, if you know where that is in North Hollywood. It's right next door. I was practicing. I was actually doing a podcast there, the Craig Smith podcast. I was doing that, and I was actually practicing my first stand-up that I was going to do. I had no idea where I was going to do it, nor did I know that the Federal actually had right next door was TK right there doing that. So I actually took a break from rehearsing. I went to go get a beer from the bar, and then TK's right at the bar, and we get to start to talking, and just by chance he told me, you can come to the show. I have an open spot next week, so that's kind of how it got started.
That's pretty cool. I have to. I'll take a pause and give TK Marsden, Rebels of Comedy, a shout out. He is so generous in his space and time for not just up and coming, but like established comedians to come on the stage and just share their stuff. I met him because a friend of mine, I was on set and doing background, and one of the guys that I was talking to was part of Rebels of Comedy, and he was like, "Hey, I need people. Will you come watch the show?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll go see your show." And he introduced me to TK and said, "Hey, this guy's pretty funny. He does stand up." TK's like, "You want to be on the show?" And I was like, "Is that easy?" And just like you, he goes, "I'll call you tomorrow." And sure enough, he called me and said, "Hey, I have a show." So TK, if you get to watch this, love you, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back on stage. I am so feeling it. How about you?
Dude, I'm getting there. To be honest, since California got a lot more strict on all their lockdowns and everything, I haven't had anywhere to perform. Now I'm over here in Pennsylvania. I'm near Pittsburgh for the time being. Let me tell you, I have at least 2 or 3, in my ammunition box ready to go, dude.
Nice. Well, again, we met on the circuit, and now this might be part of the story, and I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but when I met you, that was your second time on stage, correct?
I believe when you met me, that was my second time. I don't know if you were at my 3rd performance, but that was my second time ever. Yeah.
And as soon as you got off, I'm like, it takes to launch your career on stand-up basically during a lockdown
Right.
pandemic. Uh, and then the federal, for those of you who don't know North Hollywood and the federal, usually it's inside. They have a really good setup inside, but they have the setup outside and everybody's separated. So your audience is like all the way, it's like a stadium thing. They're all the way to the back. So you don't really hear them laugh. So it was, for me, it was a little nerve wracking because I was like, I'm used to the feedback and I used to tease people. So when they're not up front, I can't tease anybody.
Right.
But I ran after you and I was like, dude, second time on stage, that takes balls. I want you on my podcast. And here we are.
Awesome. Here we are, dude. I'm excited. It's been a long time coming,
Well, Mr. Luke Marsden, tell us how you put it together.
Great. Okay. I don't want to do any of the cliches, but to be honest, I didn't really start doing any real technical work with my comedy until I'd say early 2020. I've done acting and film, like I said, starting in 2016. I was in the military. I got out of the military in 2016, moved to Los Angeles, and then I basically just started going to these little small classes I would find online. I I downloaded a couple applications that would help me network and meet with people, specifically Meet Me, if you guys know what that is. I would download that. They have free acting classes on there. They have some meetups where people would just join together and just kind of talk about it, and beginners classes and all that. But I first got into comedy. I mean, I was always the class clown, dude. There always has to be one of those people growing up in school. I was a kid who really like got in trouble a lot. Ironically, I was a straight A student. I never studied. I aced all. Academics was very easy for me. It came naturally, so I had a lot of time to goof around with my friends. Played a lot of sports, but the comedy was always something that I was doing. It was a way for me to, I guess, just a way for me to kind of relax myself in any situation. I remember there being a few times like, me and my friends would get caught doing something with parents or something, and I'd be the one to crack a wise ass joke, and to this day, I still do that in situations. Sometimes it doesn't work out for me. I maybe I didn't read the situation good enough, or maybe I read it too well and made it more awkward, who knows? But yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and then I found myself getting much better, after this TikTok boom. Vine was a great thing. I never really used Vine, but I watched it, so much. I just loved. I could take up hours doing that. When it switched over to TikTok, I really saw where comedy was going in what direction. As of yet, I don't have a TikTok page. I don't use it too much. I prefer to post my videos on Instagram. I just make my comic skits on Instagram now.
Now, I want to go back for a little bit because that was one thing that I didn't know, and you didn't mention in your bio, being in the military. May I ask what branch you were in?
I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, wow. Thank you. First of all, thank you for doing that. Thank you for your service. I always feel like saying thank you for your service is a little cliche, but thank you. I appreciate it. Like, I know there's a lot of us that really. I said the story before the show. I was going to go into the Army. I chickened out because I knew I was gay, and it was back in the 80s,
right?
Late 80s, and I was like, I don't know that I want to go there. But so I always have a huge appreciation for military people. So thank you for that, sir.
Absolutely.
Do you think, because you talked about being the class clown when you were a kid, and then obviously then you go into the military, do you think that now that discipline that you learn in the military is helping you in your entertainment career?
Absolutely. I don't really, I've had a little rocky road since coming out of it, but the things I learned in there, specifically with who I was with, just really, it never really leaves you. Like I've said, it's not been easy adjusting to civilian life. I've had my ups and downs with finding employment, this and that. Becoming more and more independent as I grow. But definitely, those skills that you have never really leave you. Absolutely, they help in a multitude of areas.
Does it allow you? Because comedy can be a little bit. You go on stage, and we've had the opportunity. You go on stage, you have a set on your mind. You're like, this is A, this is Z, and that's where I'm going.
Right.
And then somewhere in the LMNs, things just don't go right, and you have to.
Oh my gosh, yeah, man, that's happened. Happened at every single one of my performances. I shouldn't say every single one. All three of them, but the third one went very well. I don't think you were there. It just it really flowed for me. You know, like the first two, I was I think I was overthinking it. You know, I was just like, all right, this is when I'm going to say this, and I have to like throw this one in here, or else it's going to mess the whole thing up. But once I realized, you know, on the third one, what clicked was allowing myself to mess up. You know, was allowing myself to get a slight break in there, and that's when I could even fix myself. Was just, you know, when I mess up, I would just naturally think of what to say, you know, and just fill it in.
Yeah, I think sometimes, and I think we're hard on ourselves as it is most of the times.
Yeah.
But if you're like, the audience doesn't really know you messed up, if you play it well enough, they just think it's part of the bit, and if you go along with it, people just kind of react to it. You mentioned something really interesting. It's like you gave yourself basically permission to mess up and be okay with that.
Yeah.
How easy or difficult is that for you on a regular?
Dude, I'm really hard on myself, Daniel. I don't know about you, but not just in comedy, not just as a comedian, not just as an actor. I'm hard on myself in life. I'm hard on myself, you know, in general. And so when that's kind of during those first two, I was practicing in my backyard in Los Angeles, and I was just like, I practiced back and forth, you know, for about an hour, just walking back and forth on my porch, starting over from scratch. Even after if I miss like one sentence, I would just start over from scratch again, you know. But on the third one, I had more time in between my thoughts, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. There's a certain rhythm once you catch your own rhythm, because I know that my stage persona in comedy is anxious and nervous, and I play I play to that, and the audience goes on this nervous tweak with me, like I put them on a drug with me, and let's just go on it. But the time that I saw you, I could tell, and I'll say this honestly now, like I could tell that you were like, oh, that didn't work the way I wanted it, and
right.
Because even after we were done, I saw you like you were like ready to bolt, and I was like, no, like,
yeah, I was on my way out, dude. I was ready to go home and just, you know, just try to get back to the drawing board.
But you came back, and that's has there been, I would say, was that something, and I don't want to make the military like you're marking, and let me ask that question first. Was the military a significant mark in the changes of your life? Like
huge, the biggest one. It definitely is the biggest one. There are good times, there's bad times. It's not all fun, you know. It was hands down in that period of my life was the biggest pivotal, I guess you could say, turning point in my life where things just became a lot more real, you know.
That makes sense. This is going to sound like an odd question, but is there something you miss about you from before the military that is not part of your life anymore?
To be honest with you, absolutely not. Yeah. I don't. I feel as if I've been enhanced by the military. I've been enhanced with skills that to be honest, I think it even helped my comedy, Daniel. You have some really fun times in there. You meet some funny people in there, and the funny situations we get ourselves into, you know, just with fellow Marines, it's very laughable stuff sometimes. Obviously, it's a serious job. I'm not going to downplay that at all, but there are times when you love to laugh with your guys, you know.
I can imagine. So how was it? Okay, so you get out of the military, and you're like, okay, I just had this career. How long were you in the Marines?
I was in the Marines for 1 year and 9 months, just about 2 years.
So you get out, and You're like, I'm gonna go into the entertainment. That's
Yeah, you know what? It seemed like the thing to do. I had gotten told my whole life. Up until that point, I had only gotten told that I should go into it by friends, family friends. I had never really thought about actually doing it myself. Um, so I was living alone in Los Angeles. I was actually living in the Valley. I was living in North Hills, and so I got myself a part-time job, and I just started going. I'm going to these classes. I wasn't even I didn't know the tricks of the trade. I didn't know really how to network back then. Um, and living on my own, just getting out of the military without family support, living in Los Angeles with no family, it was a little difficult to even keep my fridge stocked with food and whatnot. I remember having to get some of my roommates cereal for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dude. Sometimes it got like that. um, but I definitely met some people that showed me invaluable stuff, about how to just put things together. I know, no pun intended about the podcast, but
thank you for that. Yes, I appreciate
that
it.
was a stupid joke. Let's cut that out. But yeah, but so yeah, I met some really really good people that showed me, just the basics, how to put together a demo reel. I met some people that have been in some really good places with certain shows in the past, and I'll never forget a couple auditions, or not auditions, a couple classes I went to where obviously the people I met, but the first feeling I got, like, we were doing this exercise. This is kind of when I really started to like it. I We were doing this exercise of, like, it was like a toothpaste commercial or a milk commercial. Like, we were just doing that. I was a natural. I felt great at it. And during a short film scene, um, I was playing the part of a veteran during like a thunderstorm or something. And we're all stuck in a gym, like community members were stuck in a gym, and I killed it, dude. I don't want to gas myself up, but I killed it, and I just felt so good doing it so well. I felt so happy, just in the moment, like I wasn't even trying to do this. And the woman told me, look, you're a natural, you should really come back and do something. Uh and that's kind of where I started to actually put some attention towards it.
It's pretty cool. Let me remind everybody you are watching Put It Together Conversations. My guest today is Mr. Luke Marsden, comic, and coming to share his story with us. Thank you for joining us. And remember, if you have any comments or questions, make sure you put them in our thread, and I will make sure that Luke hears them. Remember, you have to go into the actual video to be able to make a comment. If you're on YouTube, please share, like, subscribe to the page, and make a comment, and we'll make sure to share them. And if you're watching on Periscope or Twitter, the same thing, that you share your comments, and we will ask them here, be part of the conversation. And there's really no. I think we know. Like, I've gotten off stage or done a project and gone off and been like, Garza, you kicked ass, man. You're gonna get 5 tacos tonight because that was kick ass. There's just things that you just feel like you're good. Like, this feels good.
Mm-hmm.
There was really no question after that. But what do you have a goal set on entertainment in the direction you want to go, or are you looking to be all around?
To be honest with you, Daniel, I have many different things that I love to do in entertainment. There's a point in time where I was managing an artist, a rap artist. I was trying to book him shows, and we were going on trips and whatnot. There's a time when I was promoting artists, online, and so there was a time when I was at first looking into entertainment business, such as in artist and repertoire things as to that nature, which is totally not off the table yet. I totally love the music industry. It's a part of my heart, and that'll never leave me. Absolutely not. But as for music, I mean, as for acting and comedy, like I said, I've been writing. I've been writing a lot. I'm moving in the direction of continuing stand up. Um, I might go to a couple different states. Maybe even Texas at some point in the near future, and get a couple stand ups done there, just to kind of explore a little bit. Um, for the acting, I may pick that up later when I settle back down, but I like to do a little bit of traveling before I kind of narrow down on just one set thing.
That's pretty cool because I know the first time we talked after we met, uh, you were rehearsing for some stuff, or you were working on some stuff, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And then we got locked down. So everybody, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Before they kind of redid the lockdowns, I had a small part in like a student film, which was really fun to do. So I'm gonna have to pick that back up later.
Um, do you think you will incorporate your military stories into your stand-up and make them part of it?
No, to be honest with you, a lot of that stuff is sacred stuff that you don't talk about with, especially not when you're on a stage. A lot of that stuff is just stuff that I keep to myself. It's like, we did stuff together. We have our own jokes together, and that stays with the Marine Corps.
That's pretty cool. Let's talk a little bit more about the promotion and the music part, because I knew a little bit about that because in our pre-production meetings, but how do you like? I'm very intrigued by you because how do you Okay, so I'm out of the military and all of a sudden all these paths open. Like, luck?
Yeah.
Did you seek it?
It wasn't easy, man. I wouldn't call it luck. I don't think luck played a part. I just met the right people. I met a really good group of people, a good group of friends to begin my journey in LA with. Oh my gosh, man, they introduced me to people, but I stuck with them. I actually got to get back in contact with them, shortly, but they were there for a lot of my ups and downs. And so we got to be there for each other, but they're part of the music industry. They're both rap artists. I I know a good amount about business. I went to college for business administration. I didn't finish, but I know the basics. I've done sales my entire life. Before I joined the military, I've done every type of sales job you could imagine. So I'm good at communicating with people. And I thought, at one point, why not just pair those two together and just really go into the music industry with that, which I think I'd be wildly successful. But there's just so many things. It's going to be, my life is going to be in the entertainment industry regardless. I myself write music. I write rap songs. I freestyle when I have the time. I can beatbox. I pick this stuff up out of anywhere, and I'm not all talk. I'll drop it anytime, any place. Daniel.
That's pretty cool. And I think that's, well. First of all, let me touch on the friend stuff because I wanted to write that down. I have a group of friends that when I first moved to California, some of the people that I first started working with in marketing and promotion, several of them were in entertainment, and stick with those. And for everybody watching,
Absolutely.
if you're watching this live or in a replay, wherever you're watching, and you have those friends that when you moved to LA, you connected with them. They were that first batch of people that you hung out with, that they build you up. Continue those friendships. I've had friends for 11 years since I moved to LA, and we still talk to each other. We still support each other. They're the ones that keep me grounded because they're the ones that are brutally honest with you. And they're like, nope,
Right.
That wasn't funny. Try again.
Right.
What words? What advice would you give somebody who's moving to LA?
What advice would I give you moving to Los Angeles? Have your shit together. Definitely have your shit together. Have income besides unemployment. I know we're in a pandemic, But definitely do not rely on friends or family. Have a plan. Basically, just have a plan is number one. Have a plan of what you're gonna do, 3 months worked out at least, and have a good amount of money saved up because, and it's California. Also, you never know what's gonna happen in California. California is a wild state. That's partially why I love it, partially why I got to take a break from it sometimes. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But it's a great place to live. When all is said and done, you can't beat that sunset. You can't beat the vibes out there. Totally.
Yeah, California, I see it as a psycho partner. It's like it's that person that you really like.
It's like the
You
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, you know they're crazy. You know it's gonna
Yeah,
get you in trouble, and all your friends are telling you, "Don't do it," and you're like,
yeah,
"Nope, let me just try it," and then
yeah.
you're hooked. You're hooked.
Right.
Uh, Out of everything that you've worked on, of everything that you've been part of in entertainment, what is your like? I know this is always a stupid question. I hate when they ask me that, but I like to ask it anyway. Like, if you
Right.
had to choose one, what would you choose?
If I had to choose one, it would definitely be acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The comedy I think goes hand in hand with my acting. Um, I'd be I'm a shoo-in for some acting roles involving comedy, but the stand up is amazing too. But if I had to choose one through with the music, the film, and the stand up, it would be film.
Yeah. What is it about acting
It's
that
just, dude, this I can't explain it. Besides, it's that feeling I had. It's that feeling I had when I not only realized I was good at it, but just loved doing it. There were times where I realized I could do things, on command, like that I didn't know, just ways I could express my emotions. That's what I mean. Actually, is that there were times that I realized I could express my emotions, uh, just lickety split out of the blue. If I hear a song playing from a movie I've seen in the past, I'd sit there and reenact the scene or something, and it was that feeling it gave me.
where do those emotions and feelings come from?
That is a deep, loaded question, man. I've been chipping away at that for for a while now. You know, it comes from it comes from a lot of just past issues. Things. I don't want to say traumatic events, but I want to say just like growing up issues. You know what I mean? Like childhood issues, family dynamic issues. Definitely some certain events that shaped me as a man, but also just a deep struggle within myself to be better than the yesterday's me. I don't want to sound cliche or whatever, but be better than you were the day before. I definitely try to do that. There are some days where I'm like, screw it, dude. I'm like, screw it. Today, I'm chilling. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and these things can wait. But I'm getting more into a groove where these things in my past are coming to shape who I'm gonna be in the future.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's well, the people that follow me know I do spiritual coaching, and it's all about the work that I do with my clients. It is about, hey, today I feel great. Tomorrow I want to feel greater,
Yep.
and every day. And it is about releasing some of those emotions. Now, as an actor as well, you don't want to let go of too much because you need those to come back too for feelings and emotions. But I
Right.
totally understand. I feel like it's an important process to go through, especially as men, because most of the times we're taught to not talk about our feelings and emotions and not rely on them. But then acting gives you that freedom to go, oh, it's for artistic purposes. I'm gonna cry because it's artistic.
Right.
But it allows you to really tap into your own personal feelings. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I like how you said it allows you to tap into the emotions, because there's some emotions that I haven't tapped into in so long that I didn't even know I could feel in that certain way. It's like you struggle for a long time, and you're not seeing a lot of good positive things happen in your life, but you keep pushing. You start to get a little numb to the BS out there, but then once there's like one day comes along where I get in the moment, and it's like boom, I feel better now, and I'm like, and it makes me just, it's like fuel. I can keep going when I experience those emotions.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. And just remind everybody, you are watching Put It Together Conversations podcast live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, which is soon going to transfer over to Twitter. So you are watching this. Make sure that if you want to join the conversation, post some comments, make some questions, and we will make sure that we gets them and answers them. We are halfway through the show, so this is pretty cool.
Cool.
You seem very confident to me.
Do
And
I? Oh my
yeah,
gosh! Say that 10 more times, please, just so I can let me get a tape recorder and
yeah,
dude.
you do have a confidence air about you, and I appreciate that because a lot of people don't tap into it. Am I reading that wrong, or is that like
No, no. To be honest, I appreciate you saying that. It takes time to develop, Daniel. It it definitely takes time to develop. Um, I was not a confident person growing up. To be honest with you, I was more or less insecure. Got picked on a little bit here and there in school, um, and a lot of people go through that. A lot of people go through it, and then they think that I thought I would just kind of get over it, but you don't. You sometimes that stuff builds up inside of you. And what I've learned is that, oh, dude, going on stage that first time, Daniel. Oh my gosh, my hands were my hands were shaking. They were sweaty. Like I had to keep wiping them on my jeans, and I was just like, oh, screw it. Like this is whatever. It was really, dude. I was stuttering too. It was not good. It wasn't good. Third time's a charm, though. Third time's a charm. It's just repetition. Uh, as I was saying though, um, once the trick is to you jump into, it's like jumping into some cold water, or just take the Nike slogan. I don't know. I'm running out of corny things to say, but
just
just
do
do
it,
it.
look,
Just do
just do
it.
it, look.
Do it.
Um, but
Yeah.
there's another thing we have in common. I was bullied a lot as a kid. I was picked on a lot. It's partially because I came into who I was very young. Like I knew who I was, sexuality wise. I knew who I was, confidence wise, how smart I could be. I was a smart kid at once. I know some of you out there thinking, "What?" Yes, I was a smart kid, uh, but I was picked on quite a bit. But you can sit in that. You can sit in the victim of I was bullied for a long time, or you can take that energy and go, "How can I use this to better myself?" And
Right.
I want to say that most people think, wow, he makes it look so easy, because I've heard people like call me or be honest, like, how do you make all this happen? Like, you're so tough. I mean, because you don't see the behind the scenes stuff. You don't see me when I'm on the couch stressing over things that I have no control
Right.
over. How do you keep your confidence or your stamina going?
Uh, Dude, talking with people. Look, there comes a time when you can only be so manly, and you can only take your pride so far, where you just have to sit down and talk with another person. I try to hold things in a lot, and I try to just tell myself I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but I can't emphasize enough that when stress hits, and it really will hit, you have to sit down and talk, whether it be a family member or a friend or both. You need a support network is vital to have if you're gonna develop healthy ways of living.
That, that yeah, I've always said that I am a mirror of the people I hang out with.
Yep.
I I like when people can bounce things off of me and get my input, but I need them just as well. And I learned that moving to California. I learned that my friends really do build me up, and I have to challenge them. So,
Right.
uh,
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, man, stay around people you trust and people that are going to build you up. You know, definitely hanging out with people that are doing the right thing, and you know, just staying with. I really hate saying the words positive vibes, but
say it,
dude, like, you know, let's get the chakras out.
say it.
Let's get burn some sage.
You realize you're talking to a spiritual coach. That is all
Okay.
myself
All
right
right.
now.
All right. All right,
So,
man. Look,
like you,
I'm
speaking my
not
language right now.
right. I got my spiritual things, and I think everybody got their things, but
Like,
you know.
let me just show you because here's my Himalayan salt lamp right there. Like
Oh,
what?
there it is. There
Hey
it is.
man.
I prefer lava lamps, but that's just me. Yeah.
That's very that's a little 70s for me, but yes, I agree with that, George.
Right.
But I feel like maybe because my fascination with having wanting to be in the military always comes up. But um, do you feel that the military gave you a bigger sense of brotherhood?
Yeah. Yeah. It gave me a sense of looking out for my fellow man, you know, military or not. It definitely gave me a sense of being, you know, someone that cares about other people. Because the world can get kind of not only stressful, but the world can get dark sometimes, man. And you know, when I feel myself losing, you know, if I ever feel myself losing compassion or losing, you know, an important feeling for people, I definitely pull some inner strength out of me from the military.
That's really, yeah, because I mean, I was in the military. I went to rehab, which is not basically the same thing, but if you ever been to
Hey,
rehab,
I'm not a stranger to that, but it's all right.
oh,
We've all I've had my slips. It's all good, man. I'm familiar.
yeah, because I just celebrated 13 years in June, clean and
Amazing.
sober, and sobriety, going into rehab for 3 months, taught me that brotherhood. I don't have brothers; I have nephews, which is technically, but not. Um, but when I went into rehab, I was 36 years old. The guys there, uh, being the only gay guy in rehab, uh, they taught me how. I mean, they completely destroyed me. First of all, I walked in and they were like, "We're going to break down every wall you have. We're going to rebuild your foundation, and we're going to help you build it the way you want it, not the way you were uh, taught to do it." And over the 3 months, they helped me rebuild myself and make myself who I wanted to be with all of the parts that I wanted. If that makes sense. And that's what I credit. I
Right.
credit those. I'm still connected with some of them. Unfortunately, some of them didn't make it in sobriety. Some of them just have passed on. But the
Right.
ones that are at my very, very first sponsor uh, that I met in rehab still messages me. He sends me a text almost daily with the prayer. This is 13 years later. And so I hold, like, I'm honest and sincere when I say those bonds that you build when you're away from your space they last for a long time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I've met people who are in recovery as well. I myself am in recovery, and it's a great place to meet people. These people are highly reliable, highly intelligent people that, you know, I like to call my friends. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Cool. Congratulations on that, man. It takes big to say that.
You as
I've been
well.
talking about it forever, but congratulations to you.
You as well.
Yeah. We're at the 40-minute mark, so it's 12:40. I want to remind everybody we are watching Put It Together Conversations. My guest today is comic producer, and again, without falling into cliches, I think you fall into the entrepreneurial title.
Entrepreneurial. Yeah.
Yes, I know it gets tossed around a lot, but
Kind of a
I have,
jack of all trades.
but
Yeah.
you have to. I think we live in a time now that either you settle to
Yeah.
work for, not only settle in a negative way, but you settle into a job working for somebody else, building somebody else's brand, or you learn everything you can and you build your own brand up. And I see you in this other space. Like I don't like Marsden Enterprises is going to be like where
Right.
people want to go, not where
Right.
Luke wants. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, dude, I totally understand. I've been told the same thing in Los Angeles multiple times, and it's starting to stick. It's starting to definitely develop that idea more. Um, it's starting to grow inside of me. I had dreams of when I was 19. I didn't know anything about LA. I had dreams of putting together my own record label. I had a name picked out and everything. I had a couple clients to sign, but I didn't know jack squat about the music industry at the time. So here comes little old dude with his bootstraps, thinking he's about to take on LA and stuff. But you gotta really, I'm not going to discount the work I put in, but you got to really learn how to move in a city with a lot of moving parts.
But I will, again, having, when I moved to Southern California, I've been living in Laguna Beach since I moved here. But I moved with a boyfriend then. We moved together, and that didn't work out. The relationship didn't. But then I fell in love with LA, and that relationship lasted longer. But
Right.
by the time I decided that I really was going to stick around, because he moved back to Houston, and I decided I wanted to stay, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay. But it was that attitude. It's like, I'm taking over. Like, this is Garza territory now. Like, daddy's home, bitches. Like,
I like that. I like that.
you know what I mean? But yes, did LA smack me across the face and said, no, you're my bitch? I was like, okay, fine. Like, let's work this out.
I know exactly what you mean. It smacks you a few times. It smacks you.
But yeah, but it's either you run away or you stand there and go, okay, well, let's go one-on-one. Like,
right.
let's see. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Yeah.
So we're
That's
at
good.
the 45-minute mark, and this is where I like to ask my guests to share some words of wisdom. So,
Cool.
Look, Marsden, what words of wisdom do you have for the people out there listening and or watching?
Words of wisdom, putting me on the spot with this one. No, I mean you nailed you hit the nail on the head with one earlier. I definitely like to emphasize watch who you surround yourself with. In cities that are big on entertainment, Los Angeles, New York, these places, people out there don't always want the best for you. Not everybody's your friend. I would really love to say, do not make too many friends. As a matter of fact, don't go out thinking that, I'm going to meet a bunch of people tonight and I'm going to hang out with them tomorrow and we're all going to be happy, lovey friends and we're all going to end up happily ever after. It's definitely a city where you get to not only know yourself, you get to know what types of people you like to be around, what types of places you like to be around, and vice versa. I would really, I definitely say, check out outdoors, go outside. Definitely, even during the pandemic, I loved getting on the hiking trails. There's so many nice people out there on Runyon Canyon, Griffith Park. I love LA is an outdoors town. So words of wisdom, if you're one of the people that really is an indoor person, that's amazing. That's awesome. If you're a tech person, a tech nerd, a gamer, whatever you want to call it, that's great, but your life can definitely be enhanced by going outside, meeting new people. There's a few applications that you can download on your phone. I like Meet Me. It's this app where you can just, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's great. You can literally join these groups that are for sports like volleyball, soccer, like pickup games, like group hiking. I found my acting classes on there. That's an invaluable application where you meet friends, you network, and LA is all about networking, guys. Go out. Don't be afraid to meet people, literally on the side of the street. But don't spark up a conversation with anybody. You know what I mean? Not every single 5 seconds walking on the sidewalk. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Like, yeah, don't be weird. But definitely,
In a city of weirdos, try not to be weird.
Yeah. No, don't be a creep. But you can definitely find out what you like to do, to keep it short and simple.
Those are great words of wisdom. Thank you. I'm going to try the Meet Me, and I'm going to send you a link.
Yeah.
There's another webpage that just started through the pandemic called Lunch Club, and I'm a member of. They connect you with people you can meet on. They set up a virtual meetup for you with people that have some interest in your career or personal that you can chat with.
Yep.
And I've been. I'm not a sponsor, so this is not a paid sponsorship, but I'm a member of Lunch Club and have been, and several of the people that I've met on there have been so interesting that they will be on the show. So I will let you guys know who the Lunch Club members are, but I'll send you that link so you can check it out if you like it. It definitely, it's a boost in career wise because you get to talk to somebody one-on-one about career paths and where you want to go. It's really interesting. It's really cool. Something you said before we go, my last question. You mentioned it's about knowing yourself. If you had to describe, if you were not Luke Marsden and you had to describe Luke Marsden to me, how would you describe him?
Oh, dude. One word you said?
No, just describe him.
Can it be a phrase? Okay.
Yeah. As long as you want. Like if you're trying to sell Luke Marsden to me and tell me you've got to meet this dude, how would you describe him?
If I was gonna sell myself, I'd be like, dude, this guy's charismatic, and he's funny, and he can tell you a joke and make you shit your pants, and he's more funny than most people you've ever met. He knows good music, and he's the best at everything, and he can also cook, ladies. If you're out there, I don't know if the ones watching, I don't know. I can cook, mostly microwave dinners, but I know how to cook like one meal. Yeah, no, I'll jokes aside. The one meal. It's dude. There's no name for it because I made it up. I chop up chicken and then I put like spaghetti and I put cheese on there and then I put random spices and it's not even called anything. It's just my meal.
It's Marsden chicken.
It's actually I put Dijon mustard in the skillet and then I just like rub it around and it gets kind of gross sometimes if I put too much, but it's good. But yeah, no, to be in all honesty, I'm charismatic. I'm a compassionate dude. I like cool things. I like pretty things, simple things, fighting. I like UFC. I like entertainment. I love the entertainment industry. That's the big one. That's it.
Yeah, well. Another thing we haven't talked about, I got into UFC fighting and cage fighting when I was in rehab. We would watch it on Friday nights. That was our thing. Yeah. We got a lot of our aggression out watching fights on TV. So, Luke, thank you so much for coming to the show. We're almost coming to the end of the show. We got about 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for making the time. I know you're not in Cali. When you come back to Cali, I'm gonna have to take you out to tacos. Show you some good tacos.
Dude, let's do it.
Where can people find you? And any last words before we go?
Awesome. You guys can find me on Facebook. I don't post too much. I'm getting kind of back into Facebook at Luke Marsden. Just my regular name, LUKEMARSDEN. What I use most is Instagram. You can find me on there. The @ symbol, all lowercase. I am Cool Hand. Cool Hand is my stage name. So just at IAMCOOLHAND. I use Snapchat, but not really, and it'd be kind of weird if people just started Snapchatting me, so we'll not do that. But yeah, catch me on Instagram and Facebook, guys. Luke Marsden and I am Cool Hand is the IG handle.
And we'll put all, as you know, guys, anybody that follows the show, we'll put the links in the descriptions on both Facebook and YouTube, so you can catch those. Don't go away, Luke. Stick around for a second. Let me just say goodbye to everybody.
Okay.
Everybody, thank you to Luke Marsden for being on the show. For everybody watching, thank you so much for joining us. This has been another episode of Put It Together Conversations. Remember, Lilmesican Productions has 3 shows on the air. Catch us every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with the Christian and Daniel Show. On Fridays, it's the Cart Devo at 6 p.m. And on Saturdays, we have 2 shows of Put It Together Conversations at noon and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Times, with an occasional special show at 2 p.m. When we have special guests. So just make sure that you subscribe to the pages, like them, follow us, get notifications. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like the page. Give us a little like. Make comments. Even if you have questions after the show, I will make sure that they get them. I get those over to our guest. I want to thank my producer, Mr. Kevin Moyers, for all his help and support. My video producer, Mr. Jose Reyes with Hubris Management, and my agent, Ms. Jennifer Sims, over at RPM Talent, along with my director and partner, Christian Paul Ramirez, for his direction and help. For now, I want to thank all of you for watching. Make sure that you like the pages. If you're missing any of the shows or you want to go back and listen to some of them, go back on YouTube, check them out. Everything's on there. You can find Christian and Daniel's show. You can find stand-up comedy stuff, all kinds of videos. Make sure you check those out. On Facebook, if you check the videos tab, you will find all of the information of all my guests, along with their videos and anything you post or share, I will make sure that they get them and get those over to them. For now, I just want to thank all you guys for joining us. I am Daniel G. Garza. This is Put It Together. See you next time.